In the light of the current and ongoing budget restrictions that you have highlighted, how do you envisage providing a theatre for Chester that will increase the evening attractions that you rightly say are so necessary to ensure the vibrancy of the city centre?
Well, I know on my left, you're going to answer it, but I don't know is the simple answer to that at this moment in time. I would suggest that Richard Short will be having some discussions, because I know he's passionate about it as well, and I will wait with interest to see what suggestions come up. I read somewhere that some people think we might be able to reopen even the Gateway Theatre, though I gather most of the contents have been removed. I mean, now coming down to a very clear technical point. What can be done, at what price and what cost, and then we'd have to look at it in the priorities that we need to do. It's certainly quite important, I think, for Chester. I don't have any doubt whatsoever about that. But, Kane, what we can afford to do and when we can afford to do it is another question entirely. And now to my colleague here, the leader, who will give you his official version.
As some members may not be aware, but the Gateway Theatre was closed somewhere around January 2007, or approximately at that point. And there is no sort of cultural centre in Chester. The idea was that a new performing arts centre, which had 3 parts to it, 3 stage areas, let's say, with seating, would be built as part of the Northgate development, which has been delayed as a result of the credit crunch. There are a great range of ideas that are being discussed by various parties at the moment. Unfortunately, one idea was exposed in public before they were ready, which caused some embarrassment to the individuals involved, which involves a race company, where they're looking at one particular suggestion used in the Little Reedy car park. They went down to Shrewsbury the week before last and found the whole thing very exciting, and they are willing to investigate in detail the taking on of and running of and building of a performing arts type environment, a playhouse type environment, based on the Shrewsbury model. So that's all very interesting. That's one of the ideas. There's been other ideas like the Old Government Theatre, down by which is now the Bingo Hall in Chester. The other idea is some temporary facilities based at various places in Chester, which will be permanent for 4 or 5 years, which will be some sort of performing arts area, as well as bringing the Gateway into use again, at whatever the cost that may be, or indeed waiting to the Northgate development. So there's a whole range of ideas which are being discussed by various organisations, and I would encourage those people who are interested in this to be involved in those discussions, so that we as a new council from the 1st of April can look at probably the 2 or 3 best and most livable options, and then look at how we fund it. And the Shrewsbury was funded by selling a block of land to Tesco's. We have similar blocks of land, and we also have an organisation called Tesco's who are very interested in a said block of land in Chester. That itself may be politically controversial to the residents of building a new Tesco, but supermarkets have the funds to be able to do that sort of thing with, if they wish to move their stores and purchase land. So those are the sort of options that we need to look at, how we can do it, how it can be financed, and of course how we can extract ourselves from a very complex and detailed agreement that was signed in 2003, I think, or 2005, with ING, the developer of Northgate, because we can't go off and build something, because if we're not careful, although we've got none at the moment, we might end up with 2 or something in 5 years' time because of a legal contract that we are engaged or signed up to with ING. So it's not as straightforward as some people imply it is, but clearly it's an item that Richard has got at the top of his agenda, and we certainly have as a new council. But I would welcome any ideas, novel ideas of how we can deliver a performing arts culture within the city again. And we mustn't forget, we've also got performing arts venues in Ellesmere Port, in the Civic Centre, which is well used, and we've also got them in Northwich, and Winsford. Although Winsford's, I think, is going to get knocked out.
Yeah, but people will still be able to do various things in the new centre.
Yes.
Lovely. So everything that could be done in the Civic Hall will now be okay, but we're doing in the new leisure centre.
So we have to make sure that we don't just look at Chester, but look at the wider delivery of performing arts in the new council area.
I was specifically thinking of Chester because it is a tourist city, and we have all the people coming in, and if they don't want to go to a nightclub or a bar, they're pretty limited at the moment.
Yes, I agree with that.
The only question I'll finish off then with is, as the government has moved to 3-year settlements with local authorities, are we going to be looking to provide longer term financial security for people that we might fund, our partners that we might make contributions to make it easier for them to fund longer term in terms of what moves on for them?
Well, I've had whispered in my left ear that we're going to embark on a commissioning process, which I'm not quite sure that seems a nice, all-embracing idea of something beautiful, but I've yet to see it delivered. But yes, I would have thought that there is a measure of sense in this. People have got to plan. I can't see that there's any objection to that. We have to set the price right, of course. This is the imponderable thing for us, getting value for money, of course. So we will have to do the commissioning in a very professional way. Now, when that's going to start, I'm not entirely sure, because firstly, this next coming year, we've got to review all the current payments, right, that we make and decide whether they're appropriate. And then I suspect that will be the basis from which we will then look at what we have to commission, because we've given an assurance that everybody will get it this year while we go through this review. So I'm expecting the first half of the year to be mainly review, and the second half of the year coming up with a strategy of how we go pressing going forward.
Chairman,
Does that give you a
Chairman,
good? That's a good.
Chairman, I think there's two issues here. There's the one about value for money and being clear about what we're getting, and that's a commissioning basis. And secondly, we need to get it onto the same timetable as the government's comprehensive spending review, so that where we get a 3-year commitment, we can pass that 3-year commitment on to our voluntary sector and third sector partners, and that's certainly the intention we need to move to.
Can I thank you all? I've thoroughly enjoyed working with you all this shadow year. It's been tremendous fun. And those of you I'm going to see in the ensuing year, well, you know what we're up against. But thank you very much, and that formally closes the business at almost 6:15. Thank you very much.
Well done. Well done.